Most people think they would recognize manipulation. They imagine someone aggressive, controlling, obvious. But the most dangerous manipulators don't look dangerous at all. They look calm. They look reasonable. Sometimes, they even look like the most caring person in the room. And that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. Because while you are busy feeling grateful for their attention, they are quietly reshaping how you think, how you feel, and how you see yourself. You have probably felt this before. A conversation ends. Nothing explosive happened. No clear argument. But that night, you lie awake replaying it. Did I say something wrong? Why do I feel guilty but I can't explain why? Why does it feel like I am always the problem? That feeling has a name. For this kind of control. Not loud control. Not obvious control. Psychologists call it covert influence. And the people who do this well don't need force. They have something far more powerful. They understand psychology. Once you see these signs, you will start noticing them everywhere. Sign 1. They make you feel guilty for having boundaries. In a healthy relationship, a boundary is respected. In a manipulative one, it's punished. Not loudly, not obviously, just quietly. You say something completely reasonable. I can't help today. I need some time for myself. I am not comfortable with that. And instead of understanding, you get, wow, I didn't expect that from you. Fine, I will just handle everything myself. Like always. I guess I care more about this than you do. Nothing they said was aggressive, but you feel it immediately. That slow, creeping guilt. Here's why it works. Manipulators understand something most people never realize about themselves. Most people would rather feel exhausted than feel like a bad person. So they don't force you. They don't argue. They just make saying no feel like a moral failure. And eventually, you stop saying no. Not because you want to, but because the guilt becomes unbearable. And if that sign felt subtle, the next one is even harder to catch. Sign 2, they twist the meaning of everything you say. You say one thing, somehow by the end of the conversation, you said something completely different. Here's how it sounds in real life. You say, calmly, I felt hurt when you ignored my message. They respond, so now I am a terrible person because I didn't reply fast enough? Notice what just happened? You weren't attacking them. You were expressing a feeling. But suddenly, you are on trial, defending yourself, clarifying your words, explaining what you really meant. And while all of that is happening, the original issue has vanished completely. Psychologists call this narrative reframing. The manipulator shifts the conversation so fast that you forget what you were even upset about. You came to the conversation with a concern. You leave it with an apology. But the next sign doesn't come from an argument. It comes from something much quieter. Sign 3. They slowly erode your confidence in yourself. Manipulators rarely attack you directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, they plant seeds, small comments, casual observations, said almost in passing. Are you sure that's how it happened? I think you are reading too much into this. You are just being a little sensitive. One time, harmless. But over weeks, months, those seeds grow into something powerful. You start hesitating before trusting your own memory. You start second-guessing your own reactions. You start thinking, maybe I am the problem. This is one of the most psychologically damaging forms of manipulation, because it doesn't just control what you do, it controls how you see yourself. And once someone loses trust in their own perception, they become almost impossible to reach. But here's the twist. Manipulation doesn't always look like criticism. Sometimes it looks like the opposite. Sign 4. They flood you with praise, then quietly take it away. In the beginning, it feels like nothing you have ever experienced. They make you feel seen, understood, special. You are the only person who really gets me. You are different from everyone else. I have never met anyone like you, and it feels incredible. But then slowly, something shifts. The compliments become less frequent. The warmth becomes colder. The attention becomes inconsistent. And without understanding why, you find yourself working to get back something you once had effortlessly. Psychologically, this is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the same mechanism that makes slot machines so addictive. When rewards are unpredictable, people don't give up. They try harder. And that desperate effort to regain approval, that's exactly what the manipulator is counting on. But the next sign is something most people completely misread as a reason to give more. Sign 5. They are always the victim in every single story. Listen carefully to the stories they tell. In every single one, they were wronged. Someone betrayed them. Someone misunderstood them. Someone treated them unfairly. At first, this feels like vulnerability. You feel sympathy. You want to help. You want to be different from the people who hurt them. But then, you try to bring up something that's bothering you. And suddenly the entire dynamic shifts. You say, "That situation hurt me." They say, "I can't believe you are attacking me after everything I have been through." And just like that, you are no longer the one who was hurt. You are the one causing pain. The person who created the problem is now asking for your comfort. And somehow, you are giving it. That's not a coincidence. That's strategy. But the final sign doesn't come from anything they do. It comes from inside you. Sign 6. Something in you keeps saying, "This doesn't feel right." You can't always explain it. There's no single moment you can point to, no sentence that was obviously wrong. But after spending time with them, you feel drained in a way that's hard to describe. A compliment leaves you vaguely uncomfortable. A conversation ends and you spend hours replaying it. Something just feels off. Don't dismiss that feeling. Human intuition is not mystical. It's your brain detecting patterns faster than your conscious mind can process them. Subtle contradictions, inconsistent emotions, words that say one thing but mean another. Your nervous system notices before your logic catches up. And when manipulation is present, real, consistent, calculated manipulation, that quiet internal warning doesn't go away. It comes back, again and again, until you finally stop dismissing it and start listening to it. Here's what changes the moment you see it. Psychological manipulation has one fatal weakness. It only works in the dark. The guilt trips only land if you don't recognize them as guilt trips. The urgency only works if you don't notice it's manufactured. The self-doubt only grows if you don't know someone is planting it. But the moment you see the pattern, everything shifts. The guilt loses its grip. The confusion becomes clarity. The emotional pressure you once couldn't explain suddenly has a name. And you stop reacting. You start observing. Because you are no longer inside the game. You are watching it from the outside. And the person who thought they were in control, they realize, perhaps for the first time, that they are no longer dealing with the same version of you. If this made you rethink a relationship in your life, even slightly, trust that instinct. Awareness is the first step, and you just took it. If you want to understand more hidden psychological tactics, subscribe.